What up, YouTube? MMAJ back for another video. I know in the last one I said that this is going to be the last one of the year, but with UFC 168 just around the corner, I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve as we speak, or as I speak, but really this Friday night is going to be my Christmas Eve because I just can't wait for UFC 168, Weidman versus Silva 2. So as you may or may not know, Anderson Silva is my all-time favorite, so in terms of predictions, you know where I'm leaning towards in that one, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about why he's my favorite. I started watching the UFC with UFC 1. My dad would bring home the videotapes from the video store. We'd watch them. And then they started introducing the rules and weight classes, and by that time, I was kind of going somewhere else in terms of combat sports. And then I was at a bar, and it was Anderson Silva's first fight in the UFC, and I just look up at the TV and I see this killer, this absolute monster. I knew there was like greatness. I was watching greatness at that time, and my love for MMA just exploded from there, and I really would like to thank Anderson Silva for that. I really hope he can pull it out. In the very first fight that they had, I was in shock, really. I didn't know what I was just watching and what happened, and my jaw was figuratively on the ground. And in this rematch, I don't know, Weidman could have Anderson's number. Weidman's a very skilled athlete. I remember my old club actually sponsored Chris Weidman in one of his first UFC fights, and I knew I was watching something great then. But we're talking Anderson Silva, my all-time favorite, so I'm going to lean towards that way. But really, if I had to look at it unbiased, it's going to be a fucking fight, man. And this is why this event is so great, because this rematch is probably the biggest rematch in all of MMA history. Let's be honest here. I can't think of one that's going to top this, but I guess we're going to have to wait to find out what's going on, what happens in the rematch. Of course, if Chris Weidman does beat Anderson Silva one more time, he's a lock for the Fighter of the Year, which in the last video we gave to Vitor Belfort, because, like I said, I'm going for Anderson Silva in this fight. And as far as the people who don't like Anderson Silva, I just don't get it. Like, is it jealousy? Like, do you see greatness and just resent it? I don't know. Why don't you like Anderson Silva? Is it really because he's too cocky? Because for me, that's what kind of makes the show. Him doing these things that you're not going to see any other fighter do this to any other fighter. Like, it'd be like walking on death row, really. But Anderson Silva walks that line, and that's why he's the greatest of all time. And next up on the docket is the co-main event. Women's Bantamweight Championship, Miesha Tate getting another crack at the gold against the champion Ronda Rousey. And after watching the last season of The Ultimate Fighter, I kind of flipped sides. I'm rooting for Miesha Tate, but I don't see it happening, to be perfectly honest. I'm kind of seeing a repeat of their first match. I'm going Ronda Rousey, first round armbar. And in heavyweight action, the War Master, the baby-faced assassin himself, Josh Barnett, is taking on Travis Browne. And my prediction is going towards another one of my personal favorites, the War Master, Josh Barnett. I like his style, I like his shit talk. There's not much that you can't like about this guy. However, he's taking on Travis Browne, real up-and-comer in the heavyweight division. He just knocked out, who did he fight last time? Oh yeah, fucking Alistair Overeem, knocked him right the fuck out. And he might give Josh Barnett a run for his money. Has a good chance of actually winning that fight as well. Anything can happen in the heavyweight division with one-punch power. However, I'm kind of predicting Josh Barnett's going to control this fight probably for the whole 3 rounds, and we got a decision, Josh Barnett. Next up in the lightweight division, Jim Miller taking on Fabricio Camoes. And I have Jim Miller taking this fight, even though he's kind of on a patchy run right now. Win-loss, win-loss. But the dude's never lost 2 in a row. I don't see it happening this time, and I'm going to pick Jim Miller for a decision. And then in featherweight action, we have Dustin the Diamond Poirier taking on Diego Brandao. And this is probably the hardest one for me to predict on this card. Both of these guys are young, always improving, very good. But if I had to pick one, and obviously I do because this is a prediction video, I'm going to lean towards... We will go the younger one, I guess. We'll go Dustin Poirier decision. And before I started filming this video, I said to myself, I'm only going to do the main card, but I couldn't resist leaving out the main event of the prelims. Chris the Crippler Lieben taking on Uriah Hall. Chris the Crippler Lieben on the downturn of his career, you could say, while Uriah Hall hasn't really lived up to his potential or the hype that we all put upon him. But this is the fight that he can actually live up to his potential because of the style. Lieben, he's going to probably come forward non-stop, looking for the knockout in his fists. That could give Uriah Hall the opening, you know, keeping his distance, countering with those kicks, finding the opening. So I'm going to lean towards Uriah Hall, second round knockout. There's 3 more fun fights on the prelims, also 2 Facebook fights. I'm going to predict all of that in the information box below. But before we go, UFC Fight Pass. It's the online UFC station that we talked about in the last video that was, you know, vaguely promoted by the UFC. And now has a name. It's UFC Fight Pass. It has a price. It's $9.99. I don't know how I feel about it. Am I going to buy it? Yeah, I'm going to try it out. I'll give it a couple months, 3 months. I know there's a couple fight cards exclusive to it in March. Of course, one in January. February, there's nothing. But I might just, you know, kind of browse the library and all the other features that are on it. Who knows? I'm going to try it out. What do you guys think? Right below. Are you going to buy it? Do you think it costs too much? Whatever you got to say about it. And finally, I'd like to thank Ryan Ventura for joining the MMA family. He's taken over our Twitter. Do you know we have a Twitter? Go follow us or like it or tweet it or whatever you guys do on it. I've never used it. Like us on Facebook. He's also taken control of that. We're going to be doing some videos with him. He's a really cool guy, fun guy. You're all going to love him. He's a ring announcer. He's a fellow martial artist. And he's working on the next UFC video game from EA. So, you know, in that first video that we do with him, let's ask him some questions. So if you have any questions on the new EA UFC game, put those below as well. And we'll try and sneak some answers out of him. I know he's not allowed to say a whole lot, but we'll press him and hope for the best. So until next time, have a happy new year. And one love, Daddy-O.